boys in the booth. Talking all the ball, you know we spitting the truth. Rub and fight hard, showing love for the game. Owls in the sky, playing for more than the fame. Play sharp on the field, eager to rise. Leeds chants loud, I see a devoted lives. Barnsley Bridge Warriors.
Good evening and welcome to Terrace Talk. I'm King Bush, your host tonight. Tonight we've got with us Thomas Taylor, who's a Cardiff City fan. Hello, Thomas. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I think you're a bit better than I am today, but we'll get into that a bit more after. We've got Bez with us.
Good evening.
How are you doing, Bez? You okay?
Yeah, good as can be. Obviously not great after Saturday, but good as can be.
In the comments already, we've got Alan Sugar, so Bez's fans have started already.
My number one fan.
Good evening, lads. And then the other host tonight we have got is Adam. Hello, Adam. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thanks, Lee.
Best we can be. So we'll start with, obviously, it was a bad defeat for us at the weekend. I got quite a few Cardiff fans coming on because at the beginning of the game, I did state that I thought Cardiff was there for the taking when I was watching it. Obviously, that didn't transpire to happen. I thought two teams were poor, but I'm going to start with Thomas. What were your takes on the game? And then I'm going to ask you a few sort of questions about it.
Yeah, I thought it was, great performance from us. I think it's the kind of performance I want to see us keep putting forward when we're at home in League One. You forget just how nice it is to win games when, last season we were just so dreadful. You kind of forget how fun it is and how much of a good feeling you get from actually playing quite well, the fans enjoying, all on the same page. So, I thought we played really well overall. I'm really liking this new style of football that Brian Barry Murphy's kind of bringing with him. We're a bit quick with our passing. We're a bit more patient. We're passing it around the park. We're not afraid to take our time rather than just hoofing it kind of aimlessly like we've seen in the last couple of years. But and then 3 goals to top it off, which, can't complain with that. And kept a clean sheet as well. And no complaints from me whatsoever. I thought we overall played really well.
Yeah, if you can tell us what it's like to win again, that'd be nice. Yeah, especially away from home, it just feels like you go to away games thinking we're just not going to get anything. It's not great. And I don't know how we change it. What were your views, Thomas, on Rotherham? So obviously that'll have been the first you've seen as us. What were your sort of thoughts on how we set up and how we didn't do anything?
I could see what you were trying to do. More so in the first half, it seemed like you were set up just to not concede rather than to maybe go forward and get anything. And then once Salek scored, from then it kind of seemed inevitable to me. It wasn't the best performance from you guys. Reminded me a little bit of how we were towards the back end of last season when we were properly in the dregs under Reza. What we were guilty of when we didn't have the ball, we didn't really make too much of an effort to try and win it back. And when we did, a lot of our more attack-minded players just sort of stood around and waited for things to happen and expected them to kind of go their way and make chances out of nothing, which doesn't really happen. From a Rotherham point of view, I see why you'd be like a really frustrating type of game to watch.
So obviously, me and Bez did a live watch along, and I said that I thought in the first 15 to 20 minutes the game was quite even, and I thought that sort of Cardiff were there for the taking, if I'm honest. Obviously, I got that drastically wrong because you wasn't. But would you say that comment was wrong of me to say? In the first 15, 20 minutes, do you still feel that you was in control of that game?
I think so, we were a bit slow starting, I'll admit that. But we we still had a couple of opportunities. Di Turnbull had a pretty good chance that only just went over the bar from the corner. And even when we were under the cosh a little bit, I thought our defence held quite well. Overall, for all the game Saturday, I was really impressed with Dylan Lawler and Will Fish as a centre-back pairing. I thought Lawler especially is just so calm on the ball, which is an aspect to his game that I didn't really appreciate before the start of this season. But now we have gone down. He's had a bit more of a run in the team. I'm really pleased that we've been able to see a lot more of him. And it was a weird one to kind of start. I kind of see like from your point of view, from a Rotherham perspective, but I was still kind of confident that we were going to end up winning the game. But yeah, I'm not to be antagonistic or anything, but I'm not too sure that I think we were there from the take-in.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you why I give it from my point of view. So I believe, obviously, we kept catching you on the counter, and you kept obviously giving fouls away. I mean, for me, and I don't know everybody else, I'll ask everybody else's opinion as well. I believe your lad should have got sent off for that second yellow.
Yeah,
I think the ref,
that's exactly, yeah.
I want
Thomas' opinion on that, if you can.
Yeah. So I think the ref bottled it.
And Barry Murphy, 2 minutes later, straight off, subbed him. The young 18-year-old, he was left back. He did one challenge, got a yellow card. He did another challenge on goal, which was definitely a yellow. The referee was... And Barry Murphy knew it. 2 minutes later, the guy's off. He's only a young lad, 18 or 19-year-old. The left back, I think he's Mafiko.
Yeah.
What do you think? Was it, in your eyes, a red card? 2 yellows?
So, personally, I think it kind of balanced it out a bit. I know that's not how you can referee games. The first one, I've seen him given either way. I'm not too sure it was a yellow. The second one, yeah, it probably was.
Yeah.
But again, I can see why the ref didn't give it. It's one of those ones where maybe he's kind of second guessing, oh, maybe that wasn't the yellow card down there, so I'll let the next one go. And I think it was the right call for Barry Murphy to take him off. And, I'm not saying it to be horrible. He did kind of struggle a little bit. A couple of times he got beaten down on his side. And, it was a very mature call from still quite a relatively new and young manager to take him off. But again, I think he'll learn from it. I think he'll bounce back. I think he'll still go on to be he's still a very promising player. And he's so young. He's only 18.
Was that his debut?
Sorry?
Was that his debut?
It was, yeah. So it's, it's rough. You never want to see it like that. But I really like as well that when he went off, like everyone gave him a standing ovation, and Barry Murphy gave him a hug on the sidelines, and the bench clapped when he come off, because, it was the right call. He was kind of struggling. He couldn't really contain his man down that way. And if he didn't come off then, the signs were there. He probably would have been given a second yellow, if not just taken off at half time, So
we don't do sitting on the fence on this podcast. So for me, it was a red card. I think the ref bottled it. What about you, Thomas? Do you think it was a red card?
No, I don't think so. No.
Bez, what about you? What's your views on the red card incident? Do you feel it was red, or do you think the ref got it right?
Well, first of all, before I answer that, it had no bearing on the game. So if it was a red, I still think we'd have lost the game, is what I was going to go on and say. We still didn't play well, which I know we'll come on to later. It's a difficult one because I kind of do agree with what Thomas is saying. It's almost like the 2 fouls are worthy of 1 yellow card. What I would say is after he had been booked and he did then make the second foul, he does have to go. So, yeah, I'm with you on that point, Lee. After giving the yellow card in the first instance, the player shouldn't go diving in or shouldn't do anything stupid, and he did, and he definitely got away with it. So, yeah, after giving it first yellow, it's a definite red, in my opinion.
Just go to a few comments. So, definitely a second yellow and a red. But let's be honest, you're a Cardiff fan and won't say anything against his team.
He knows me so well.
It annoys me that Championship defenders can't handle the basics. I think that's aimed at Reece James for the first goal. I think it was at fault. Adam, what was your view on the red card? Was it a red card? Do you think the ref bottled it, or are you with Thomas? You feel that it was about the right decision? Like I say, it's not having a bearing on the game.
Definitely the second tackle, what he did on Dango, I think was a yellow. The first one, maybe was it a bit easy and he's evening it out? So I'd say, I think the ref, because the first one, if you look at it, was a bit weak. The second one was definitely a yellow. But I think before that, they should have had a penalty. Definitely Jules tugging him back and he didn't give it the ref, if you've seen that. Did you see that, Thomas, when your striker went through and Jules just tugged him back? I thought that were a pen. And then in the second half as well, you should have had a penalty. I think that was also a penalty. The ref didn't give it. So I think overall, he evened it out on what he did. I didn't like him. He wasn't a good ref, but it were evened out.
Joshua Caswell, 100% red if we do that. So, yeah, definite red. Yeah, again, I mean, obviously my view is it was a red. Did it have any bearing on the game? Absolutely not. Cardiff battered us that second half, and we were lucky that we didn't. I personally believe Cardiff probably had another 2-3 gears to go through. I think they were just at Panther in that second half. And the fact that they didn't score any more was probably more down to Cardiff taking the foot off the gas rather than us defending well. I don't know about you, Thomas. Did you feel that your team sort of stepped off? I think you mentioned that a little bit before, didn't you? That you think you were sort of in second gear at times.
Yeah, I think we were. I think we got, as soon as Ashford got the second, which was a great finish, I think from there it was, I think the writing was on the wall a little bit. So I think we could kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit and try not to, do anything silly, which obviously you can't do every game. But I think on the day, I don't think you'd had a shot up until like the 80-something minute. So there wasn't really a massive sort of danger. And then as soon as Caldwell scores to make it 3, then, that's it. It's pretty much game over. So yeah, I think on another day we probably could have got 4 or 5. It was a bit something. We played Plymouth last season at home, and we beat them 5-0, and it kind of felt like a bit of a similar performance to that. So it could have been easily probably 4 or 5, but I won't complain about winning 3-0.
One of the big Cardiff fan I work with said that's the easiest game Cardiff had at home in the last 2-3 years. He thinks it could have been 6 or 7 if they'd really pushed. 2 penalties, another couple of chances. If they took the chances, but he says, what's happened to Rotherham? We normally get a good game with you guys. We've come and think it's a Sunday League team.
Just a comment coming in. Think Ashford had too much time to shoot and Dawson should have attempted to go for it. I want Canning goal for Saturday. I don't think you can blame the keeper. I mean,
no, it was a good finish. He had no chance on that.
He wasn't in the corner. The goal wasn't in the corner, is all I'd say. Not saying Dawson should have saved it, but I think he could have. I think he could have got to it if he at least tried. He didn't really try, did it? Well, I disagree. We've had this conversation before. He's not good. Can's not good enough. It's not a case of we need to see him play. He's not good enough. He's never played above National League level, and he only played about 6 times at National League level. So you can't just throw him in.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be positive, Bez, because obviously I've been classed as negative this week. But I'm trying to be positive and say Hamshaw signed this goalkeeper. If he's signing him, surely he's got some faith in him.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Well, what you would say though is, and this conversation could be for another podcast though, is did Hamshaw actually sign him? You know, who is the man at the club who actually does make the signings? Because you've got Rod Scott, who's the head of recruitment and director of football. You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure the manager, whoever it is, in this case Hamshaw, has a say. But ultimately, is it actually Rod Scott and his team who are doing the signings as opposed to the manager?
Good question. Good question.
Yep, I think you're actually right, Bez, because why sign Can and he's not played one game? Why not play him at Salford when it's not really much on the line?
Yeah.
Give him 90 minutes. Even in the friendlies, he come on for 10 minutes, and it seems that it's Dawson or nothing. I know they had a third keeper on trial, like a young kid, and he got released. But why sign Cannon? Not even play him at all. Not even get a look in anywhere. Like against Salford, ideal place to play him. You look at every other club. I mean, Stoke, they played their reserve keeper. Victor's obviously one of the best keepers in the Championship. Every other club are trying out different players. If we don't even see Can on the pitch, how do we know how good he is? Because nobody's ever seen him.
Joshua
I was
says,
surprised he didn't play against Salford, to be honest.
I don't know what's going on.
Joshua says that he kept more clean sheets than Dawson, including in pre-season. Was you shocked, Thomas, how bad Rotherham was on Saturday? Did it surprise you? Did you think you were going to be in for a tougher game, or do you think Rotherham will struggle this season?
It was a weird one. It's one of those ones where the Cardiff of old, it could have been a banana slip. And going into it, I thought we were going to win. I predicted 3-1, but there was that part of me thinking this could go wrong. This could be an early little slip up. We've had the good start. We got a good bit of momentum going. I think it might be, I don't know, trauma from last season maybe, because the good times never really lasted when they started. So I was kind of expecting a bit more from Rotherham. Certainly wasn't expecting the performance that they ended up putting out on Saturday. Will you guys come good? I don't know. Is the honest answer. I don't know enough about the club. I saw you had a good. I think the 2-1 win against Port Vale was a decent result. Even though from what I've seen from that, the second half weren't great. Port Vale are a decent team. Well. Yeah. Port Vale are going to be quite a good team this year, I think.
Sorry, Thomas. Was there anyone in the Rotherham team who you thought he don't look too bad actually?
There was the guy who's, I don't know how to say his name, Martha. I see you put as the man of the match. One who Maffico struggled a little bit against him at times. I thought he was quite decent, to be fair. I thought if Maffico stayed on, then that would have been a bit of a problem. And he had him a couple of times. But yeah, I don't know. And Jordan Hugo, he didn't do a great deal, unfortunately. Ex-Cardiff player.
Thomas, have we got any hope with Atete? Is he going to come good and scores a few goals, or is he?
Do you want the truth or what you want to hear?
Give us the truth. We can't be now, so we can't get any worse.
He's okay. I think at this level he might be all right. He does nothing, and then he'll end up scoring, and it's just hard to kind of gauge whether he's good or not. My main thing with me is he was far too injury prone, that he couldn't really get any kind of decent run together. And again, he's a bit of a system player. Like you need, I think Martha could, like, from what I saw Saturday, he could offer some decent service to him. And if that could be a little bit of a kind of a connection going, that could be all right.
Yeah, because he's a big lad. He's 6'4".
He is, yeah, very tall.
He's the ball.
Yeah. I'm a fan of him. I kept thinking that he was gonna come good. It's not really worked out. But again, I don't know how much of that was his fault, because he was playing in some dreadful Cardiff teams and he kept getting injured quite a lot. So he's a tough one to kind of gauge. He has his lovers. He equally has his haters. I want to be a believer, but kind of running out of time to show it at Cardiff, unfortunately.
Thomas, you're not selling it as here, mate.
Yeah, sorry, boys.
Would
Right.
you rather have a Tete or Hugo then?
That's what I was going to ask you
Choose
as
one.
well.
To be honest, probably a Tete. I'm not going to lie. Based off Saturday, a Tete.
Yeah, because I remember when, I don't know if you were at the game, Thomas, when Rotherham played Cardiff at New York Stadium, Tete were fantastic. I was looking at him, this guy's fantastic. And there's another guy, I can't remember his name, on the right wing, and he were great. And you absolutely run us ragged. Tete, I think, even scored.
Yeah, was that one when we lost like 5-2 or something on the last day?
No, it was the
was
Thursday night game on Sky.
Yeah.
Oh, the
rearranged rain.
The
game.
rearranged, yeah. The
And I'm
rain
thinking, this
gate
guy,
one.
Tete, he was just holding up the ball, and I'm thinking, well, he's a good player.
Joshua Caswell says Tanner, Adam.
Tanner, is that?
No. Can Ete be a good target man, Thomas?
I think he can be.
Yeah.
Like you say, he's a big lad. He can hold the ball up really well. He has a bit of an underrated skill, I think, in terms of his hold up play. So he probably can be, yeah, if he has the kind of support around him.
3 guarantees in life, Thomas. Death, taxes, and Rotherham being shied away from home. He's not wrong, to be fair. I mean, yeah, I was just baffled by the performance, by the tactics. I'm trying to find some positives. I mean, the only positive I can get from the game was Martha. Obviously, he looks like he can be potentially a threat for us. Obviously, I really rate our centre-back, Lenny, but he went off injured. So it was an awful afternoon all the way around. Who was your man of the match for your team, Thomas? Who did you give your man of the match for? What's the consensus of who got that?
So personally, I thought it was David Turnbull. And I'm so pleased that so far he's kind of making that spot in midfield his own. I think he's now being coached under a proper manager who knows what his strengths are. He's not going to be running around the park here, there and everywhere. He is going to be that sort of creative asset who can kind of complement Ruben Colwill. And I thought he was quite unlucky not to score. I think it was around the 20th minute or something from the corner. He just went a bit wide over. I think it was over the crossbar. Yeah, I thought he played really well. And yeah, kind of how he's settled in so far this season. He's taken to League One really well, and I hope they can continue, because I was excited when we signed him. I got some friends who are Celtic fans who keep asking whether he's doing all right or not, and I don't have the art to say, well, no, not really. But so far this season, he's kind of proven to be the player that a lot of City fans thought he could be, and I'm really glad we didn't give up on him in the summer, because he can give you performances like that he gave on Saturday.
And where do you think Cardiff will finish this season? What's your prediction on your league finish? Do you think you can get promoted?
I think we'll be in the conversation for sure. There's still a lot of football left to be played. But I think based on the start we've had, the kind of style we're trying to play, top 2 at the minute, I don't think so. I definitely think we'll be in and around the playoffs, maybe 4th or 5th. Except there's other teams I think are going to come good. I think Huddersfield are still going to come strong. Barnsley, I still think, are quite strong.
Rotherham.
It's a long season. It's a long season.
Right, Barnsley. You think Barnsley will do well?
I think they'll do okay.
It's interesting you say Barnsley, actually, because I first think that Rotherham and Barnsley are almost at a similar level. Now, I know Barnsley started a lot better than Rotherham, but they've both got weaker sides. They've both budgets have kind of dropped this season, and they've both got managers who have zero experience of managing. So I kind of expected Barnsley to be in the same area as Rotherham.
Interesting.
Couple of comments coming through. I don't think you'll have any positives until you get a new manager and Hamshaw is gone. Right. Obviously we'll go on to the player ratings, and obviously the lowest two ratings was our manager, which got a 1, and Jordan Hugel, who also got a 1. Obviously, the manager is inexperienced. I think his tactics were lacking at the weekend. He showed his inexperience. I think the comments after, where he threw a couple of young kids under the bus, I think that was disgusting. But I still think he's a young manager, and we have got to give him time. We can't sack him after 3 games. We have got to give him chance to implement what he wants to do, learn from these early mistakes, what we're making early on in the season, and then hopefully we can turn it around. I'm not advocating for Matt Hamshaw to be sacked. Yes, I've put some memes out of him exploding on TikTok or whatever, but I actually think he does deserve a chance. I'm not saying I'm Matt Hamshaw out. I think any manager will struggle under the ownership model of what we've got at the moment. We're saying it's a rebuild, but I think every season with this ownership model is a rebuild, because every season we let players run, contracts run down. It's all short-term thinking. And then the season after, you're in the same position as you were the previous season, where you've got to replace 10 to 13 new players every season. And we've done that for the past 4 or 5 seasons. So I am not just going to throw the manager under the bus. I think he's in a difficult position, personally. I don't know what your thoughts, Adam, regarding the comment about Matt Hamshaw. I know you want to back him, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, on Hamshaw, I just think he needs time. So I'm just going to ask Thomas as well. So Barry Murphy came in. I mean, Cardiff, a couple of years ago in the Premier League, I looked at their starting lineup on Saturday, and apart from the bench, Callum Chambers, Robinson, and was it ND or MP?
Perry NG.
Perry NG. I didn't recognise any of them players. And then later I looked at them, they're all literally young players that are coming through that Brian's brought in. And I'm thinking, surely he's a young manager and you've taken to him. And I just think it takes time to get his philosophy in with our manager as well. But how do you think Brian's done at these first couple of months he's been in?
Brilliantly. I think he's put his trust in the youth, which is really exciting for the club.
What Matt's trying to do.
Yeah, and it's exciting for Wales as well, because like we have got a good setup, and it's just quite nice to see the team sheet, and then you see like, you know, one player 21, 18, 20, 19. 22, 19, and all have a little Welsh flag next to them. So it's like, it's not only going to be great for us, like these players' development, this is going to be really good for the national team as well. And we've kind of underproduced, dare I say, from the academy in years gone by, like in our recent history. Because there's always been a lot of players we thought, oh, they look like they'll be really good, but they've never really been able to kind of translate it into the first team. Whereas now with this crop, your Capacios, your Dylan Lawlers, Ruben Colwell, Joel Colwell from the bench, Cian Ashford. It's just kind of nice to see that, one, Barry's put the trust in these boys, and two, they're kind of, showing that back to him to say, like, we're going to grab this with 2 hands. A lot of them are, kind of local boys. They're fans themselves. So they, it's a huge opportunity for them. They get it, basically. They know what it is to be a Cardiff City player. And they're just, it's all kind of, so far it's paid really well.
I'll just run through a couple of questions again. So I don't think the lack of experience comes into it. He's doing nothing but blame other people and is disgraceful. His attitude towards young players is not good. A manager who starts going around blaming players on things don't normally end up well for those managers. And I'll give him until November. If things haven't improved, then I'm going to start questioning whether we should stick or replace him. What are your thoughts on that, Adam?
Yeah, well, so yeah, just going back on Thomas's, I think we're implementing the same system. So we're signing young players. A lot of them not got experience, like this new striker that's come in. We try. Obviously, I don't know whether Tony's cutting the budget, wanting because something where he said when Hammy said these are not my players, or is it Tony saying get cut to the wage bill? But I think there is a project there. All these young lads coming in, because you think the young lads come in, if they play well, they'll generate money for Rotherham. If they're on the right contracts and we sort it out properly, like Martha, he looks fantastic. Agberi, the first 3 games, he's been absolutely amazing. We could sell him 7-8 million in 2 years when he's 22 and he's bossing it about the league. So I think there is a project there. I just think, obviously, Matt's new. He's had 3 games, a couple of pre-season games. I just think it's going to take time. He's inexperienced. Darren Moore, obviously, Darren Moore's 150 managerial games. He knew second half what Hamshaw's doing. I think, obviously, Revel as well against Stevenage. He sort of first, Revel's had a full season with Stevenage. You know what Hammy's doing. And obviously, Barry Murphy's experiencing Man U. For the first 20 minutes against Cardiff were all right, but for the last 20 were literally, for Cardiff, it were like they were on beach.
It was too easy for them. And my worry with Matt Hamshaw is it's nothing to do with his inexperience or whatever. It's to do with the fact that there is no plan B. I don't even know if there's a plan A. But there's definitely no plan B there. And we was promised that this team was going to give all. I mean, Thomas, what did you think? Did you feel like Rotherham was 100% at it? They were dying for the shirt because it was promising us not results, but it was promising 100% commitment. I thought we just stood off and let you play the ball around us like you was Real Madrid at times.
Yeah, I to be honest, I didn't really see that. Like the comparisons, I've said it a couple of times, but the comparisons to the second half of last season was quite scary. It was almost as if, we back end of last year, we were just playing to not concede, and then as soon as that goal inevitably went in, it was just like, oh well, what do we do now, kind of thing. And then there wasn't really that desire, there wasn't that push for anything. It was just, players stood around not trying to win the ball back, or if they had the ball, just slow getting forward, and then, just expecting things to happen and just hoping that something will magically come somewhere out of thin air. But that's not how football works, really. And it was surprising because I assume Rotherham, you think it would be that kind of squad, or even if they're not very good, you just assume that the players are going to be there, going to just try, and they'll give effort and give 100%, like that kind of, a bit of a sort of rough kind of team in that sense, like we've seen in years gone by. But I didn't see it at all Saturday, and that's what I think shocked me the most about you guys.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Rotherham are known for being rough and ready, give people a difficult game, get in people's faces, a threat from set pieces. We concede from set pieces. Now, we're not a threat from them. We're conceding goals from them. I'll just run through a couple more comments as well. Sean H, thoughts on the squad depth, lads? Already short and having to ship players out to get new ones in. It's pathetic. Adam, thoughts on that one?
We shipped out, sorry.
I'm not sure. Somebody may have. Has somebody gone out? Have you heard about anybody going out recently?
No one's gone out. I think
there's no way we can afford to ship players out. I don't think that. We need 4 or 5 in. Even obviously, look at bench on against Cardiff. Clark, Richardson, 18, 17. There's no way we can, unless he doesn't like McWilliams. There were rumours about McWilliams.
Well, we've just got some in the comments now. So they've heard that Holmes and McWilliams have both been let go or gone out.
Has won, that's terrible.
So they're actually saying they've been made available for transfer. Where you need to ask where that's come from, because I can't remember Hamshaw saying it in his pre-match or post-match. So I'm not sure about that one.
He said injured. but he's got to keep Holmes. When he comes on, he does give effort and he does give chances. Against Salford, even against Cardiff, he did have a few bits, and I like that James Clark when he comes in. He's a big unit. I think he's got a big future.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Jack Holmes, I think he's non-league level. If I'm honest, I don't.
Yeah,
think he's
I agree. Lee.
I don't think
he's just. He's I think he's definitely got something about him. Like, he can be tricky, he can be nippy. He's got good balance. He stays on his feet when he's doing tackle, etc., etc. He's not good enough for this level. I'm sorry.
But just rumours circulating on the community, so apparently they haven't gone. I'd be shocked if he lets Holmes go because he give him a new deal. So if he give him a new deal, then it was only a 1 year deal, so you don't give a new deal just a 1 year deal if you're going to loan him out and not play him. I thought giving him a 1 year deal will just get a chance this season, but it doesn't look like he's getting much of a look in. He come on here and there, but I mean, his comments about the players that were coming on, for me, if it would have been any other manager saying that, there'd have been uproar, because you don't put young players under the bus like that, saying they shouldn't be anywhere near the first team, but that's where we are. That doesn't go well for young players. You're killing the confidence for me. And I think it was a very poor move. But I'm going to try and be positive on Matt Hamshaw, because obviously he has earned Clown of the Match this week, so I don't need to go any deeper on him. Dan Gore, things was expected of him. What are your thoughts on Dan Gore? Did you notice him, Thomas? Manchester United, I mean, he was apparently been rated to be one of the best next things out of the Manchester United Academy at one point, but he's at Rotherham. And
he was number 44, Thomas, for us. Little lad in attacking midfielder.
Yeah. I don't know. He was okay. I thought he weren't particularly great, but again, I think as an effort, as a whole kind of attacking unit, I thought you were just far too slow going forward. Like, there was a bit in that first kind of 20 minutes, you were getting forward. It's just there wasn't enough kind of urgency to it, I thought. So he's one of those players I think probably will come well, and you'll get some decent kind of performances out of him. But one of your better players Saturday, but I still didn't think he was that great, to be honest. But that's just one performance. So.
The good-looking one, apparently, on the show, John says, well, Saturday will be fun for Wigan. Well, hopefully we play a little bit better than we did against Cardiff, because, like I said, Cardiff, I think they played in second gear for me. I think Cardiff will be up there. I predict that you will at least get the playoffs. I was impressed with your second half. Like I said, first half, I think it was a bit scrappy, and I thought we were causing you problems with Martha and obviously the red card incident. But after that, it was just one-way traffic, and I think you could have picked a score whatever you wanted by the end of it, because I think we give up.
Oh, last 20, we give up. You have a look, there's no press at all.
Give up. Couple more questions. Also, I'd say give time to go. He should play, as his creativity is what we need. We do need creativity, but I think he's playing him in the wrong position. Bez, what do you think about Dan Gore and his positioning? And do you think he should be playing and we should be utilising him better?
Yeah, so for me, it all will come back to the manager and the coaching team. I've said on pretty much every single podcast we've done this season that we're not creating hardly anything, and we have got creative players at the club. Dan Gore, Marta, Kelly, I know he wasn't available Saturday, but Joe Powell. These are all creative players. And the reason we're not creating has to be down to the manager because, I've seen Dan Gore when we played against Cheetah, and I said this on last week's podcast, he was absolutely superb and he was unplayable. Peter couldn't get close to him. And because of that one performance, when we signed him, I was really excited. I don't know if you noticed that on Saturday, he was actually playing more on like a right wing. So obviously it was their left back, I believe, the young lad who should have been sent off. Yeah. He got the booking through Marta attacking the fullback and obviously Marta ringing him down. I don't know if you noticed, but when we kind of reshaped, like after the goal kick or whatever, it was actually Dan Gore who was on the right wing and not Marta. So, we all said that Marta's got pace and we knew Lee said it on the live, on the watch along, that if Marta can get this lad, now he's being booked, we can get him sent off. We can't get at him when he's playing on left wing and goes on right wing. Dan Gore is an attacking midfielder, central attacking midfielder. So he's not going to create anything from out wide. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't really create anything. I feel the manager, I think the manager is through pre-season got an idea in his head of what he wants to do. I think he wants to almost carve and copy what Cardiff did. He wants to have a little bit more possession, play through the midfield, play through Dan Gore, play through Joe Powell, and create that way as opposed to just putting cross into the box. Because they lost those two friendly games to Sheffield United and Accrington, I think it's panicked him and he's kind of gone back to the drawing board. And that's why we're not creating anything now and we look completely lost. Because I think he's almost trying to reset everything. And I think that's my biggest concern.
Super. Miles Martha, desperate for Warren back. The Warren cult will live forever.
We need to, as well, what I would say is, as a football club, the fans, we need to stop this with ex-managers, whether it's Evans, whether it's Paul, whether it's Ronnie Moore, whatever. At the minute, our football manager is Matt Hamshaw. It's not Paul Warren. It's not Steve Evans. It's not Ronnie Moore. It's not Matt Taylor. So it doesn't matter what he does, Hamshaw. It's him who's doing it. It doesn't matter what Evans would do because he's not here. It doesn't really matter. I think as a club, we need to move on from that and just focus on Matt Hamshaw.
Lee, that's the comment of the week. Pin that little segment and put that on X. What just Bezos just said then.
What's that?
What he's just said then.
Oh, his comment.
Yeah.
You like
but
that?
It's right there, it is right there, isn't it? Because I still love Steve Evans, and I'm going to because the reason why Rotherham are now a League One, top half of League One stroke, bottom half of Championship, well, excluding last year, the reason we're at that level is all down to Steve Evans. That's a fact because Steve Evans came in, not only took us up 2 divisions to the Championship, he kept us in that league technically for 2 years. It was obviously 1 full year, and then obviously the year after is when we got Warnock in. So, he's a legend. Yeah, he didn't do very well last year, but fans should be praising him, not having a go at him. He's not here now. Don't put having a go at him now. He's not here. You need to remember the positives that he did because he was positive, and just thinking of him like that, it does frustrate me. He's a legend at the club. Whether you like him or not, he's a legend at the football club.
Totally agree, Bez. I couldn't have said it better myself, and your fans agree as well. Go, Alan. You tell him.
Alan.
Oh yeah, he's there. Martha reminds me of a Chio. Pace it and draw fouls. Just need confidence and need freedom to try whatever he wants. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do rate him. To be fair, I like the look of him. I thought he caused Cardiff problems on that side.
Can I just ask Lee? Sorry, Lee. What do you think the formation was on Saturday?
It was like trying to work out a puzzle of Cluedo or something. I've absolutely no idea where hardly anyone were playing. Right. It was so bad. I think we was playing one up front.
Which was Hugo. Yeah. One up front, but no, was it even Hugo? There were times 34-year-old Liam Kelly were further forward chasing ball than Hugo.
Yeah.
And then obviously Kelly's been so far forward. Poor Yearwood's on his own. Hugo's just stood there. I mean, I'm not a Hugo fan, but if Kelly at that age, is obviously Hugo's only a couple of years younger, but Kelly's obviously, you can see his legs are not the best, and he just likes the ball. But if he's chasing a ball and Hugo's just stood there and Kelly's sprinting past him trying to get the ball, obviously then Kelly's he's out of position, leaves Yearwood exposed. I just don't think the players at the minute, either they're not buying into the system or they don't know the system. I'm not too sure which one it is, but there's something just not going right.
Well, that with Kelly, because you see, and you just sit there like it looks obviously bad that Kelly was closing down, and I never saw it where Kelly kind of ran past Hugo. I never really saw that. But you're right, Kelly at one point or a few points was the furthest man forward. Yeah. But do you know what? That's actually wrong of him to do that. I'm not blaming Hugo there. I'm blaming Kelly, because Kelly is if the whole team's been told to press, then fair enough. Kelly goes, Gore goes, Mortar goes, Hugo goes, right? Well, it looks like they told him not to press, and Kelly's just gone off by himself. So that's a Kelly issue for me, not a Hugo issue.
We should never be telling Kelly to press anyways. They ain't got the legs to press.
Surely.
He's an defensive midfielder.
Yeah, he just needs to...
Yeah, that's why he always gets subbed off, because he loses his legs. If he's running around, Kelly is, admittedly, when we signed Kelly from Coventry, all their fans were like, "Oh, I can't believe it, you signed him. What a great player, our ex-captain." And yeah, when he gets the ball to feet, he's a good player. But when he's trying to sprint around everywhere, after 30 minutes, you can see him, he's blowing out his rear end. He's absolutely knackered. That's why
he needs to sit. That's all he needs to do. At this level, it should be a walk in the park for him, but it's not.
Like Jordan Henderson, little passes, pass. Easy.
So according to Fat Mob, it was 3-1-4-2.
Who was the one?
I think it was. The formation for me, and this is me watching game. It was definitely 3 centre halves. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
You had your 2 wing backs, which we can all agree on that. I think it was 2 midfielders, which were Yearwood and Kelly, and then I think it was like 3 up front, but 2 wingers. So Hugo was the number 9, Mortar was one side, and Gore was the other side. That's what I think the formation was. So that's what's that? 3-4-3, arguably. That's what I think it was.
Thomas, you were watching us. What did you think it was? What formation?
All over the show.
I think an easier task would be like to find the Holy Grail or crack Enigma than work out what the formation. I think, probably 3-4-3 maybe was the kind of set up the intention, but I don't know. It all just kind of went a bit jumbled after a while. I'm not too sure what the approach really was. I think, it was definitely 3 at the back, but outside of that, and Hugo was up front. Outside of that, anyone's guess. Yeah,
it was a jumbled mess. Up the UTM, it says Lenny looks to be some player. Yeah, he's quality, mate.
100%.
I think he's a bright spark of what had so far has been not a great start for us. I'm just going to quickly run through the player ratings, because obviously, unless you totally disagree with it, we'll talk about it. So the keeper, Cameron Dawson, he got 3. We're all happy with that. I think it's a bit.
It's probably slightly low. You didn't. Hugo, did Cardiff have that many shots at Dawson? Sorry, not sure. Bear in mind, we've agreed that an average is like 5 or 6. I probably think maybe he should have got a 4, but nothing massive, but just maybe a 4.
Denzel Hall a 3.
Fine with me. that one.
Zach Jules 2. Yeah, I thought Zach Jules were quite poor, to be fair.
Oh, he's not been his same self.
No. Sean Raggett a 2.
Yeah, agree.
Reece James got a 3. I would say he was probably a 2. I think he was a 4.
Again, they were Reece James, and I said this last week. One thing about Reece James is we all agree defensively he can be a liability, but his distribution's excellent. And I noticed it again. So when we'd given up in the second half, there was like a moment in the game where all we kept doing for like 10 minutes, so as soon as our centre-halves got the ball, we were clearing it long, and it went straight to their goalkeeper, straight to their centre-halves. But I noticed that when James got the ball in the same time frame, he passed a good ball inside into like a midfielder or Hugo or Goy. I can't remember which one it were. So maybe he deserves a 3 because his distribution isn't as bad as the rest of the defenders.
Joshua says a 2 for James. He can't defend. I think that's about fair. Daniel Gore 4. I think everyone's getting low scores, aren't they? This one is, I think, Vendetta FC.
It is.
Hugo 1.
This is the one I wanted to talk about myself, because this to me just proves that fans aren't watching the game. They're just, as soon as Rotherham as a team play poorly, they're just going to give them a low score. And Adam, you were talking about like a striker working hard. Now, I'm not saying Hugo works 100% hard. He's not like a Richie Barker was when he was at Rotherham, or an Alan Lee, right? But when you're playing in a formation and you've got Hugo as your number 9 and you've got 2 wingers, which we were playing Gore and Marta, right? You cannot expect Hugo to look after either a back 3, if that's what they're playing, or a back 4, right? He can only contend with 1, maybe 2 centre-halves. So when you saw Kelly and he was like running to close down, if I remember correctly, he was running like into like our left-hand side of the pitch. You can't expect Hugo, for me, to run the whole of the kind of front line. He needs support. So I would argue that Hugo's quite clever when he does close down. You can't close down all of the time for 90 minutes. So I think Hugo can be seen as clever, because he'll think, I can get that ball there, so I'm going to close him down. Or I'm not going to get that one, so what I'll do is I'll just back off him. That's one of the reasons I actually like him. He just doesn't run. He just doesn't get his head down and just run straight for the ball every time like an headless chicken. He actually thinks about it. What would you say to that, Adam? So I know you're not a big fan of Hugo.
No, I'm not a big fan of Hugo. No league goal, not one league goal since October in 38 games when Ndombe's scoring. And he can hold up the ball well. He's a big lad, 6 foot. I've hardly ever seen him when, obviously, if we're playing pass and pass, I think Hugo will be better. But obviously now we've resorted back to this long ball. Defenders are just picking him off and he's going on floor. I mean, if you come up against him, every defender will be thinking, oh, a nice easy day.
Nah, but that didn't happen on Saturday. I don't remember Hugo winning or losing many headers, right? And I don't remember Hugo going down that many times trying to win a free kick. What I do remember, because it was Lee who actually said it, there were a couple of times where we were under pressure.
He held the ball up really well.
And he picked up the ball 2 or 3 times, and he kept hold of the ball, and he had like 3 players trying to get off him. I do think you're being really harsh on him, really do.
No, man.
I get his goal scoring record.
Highlights, and there is the one he ran off a ball. Why not just strike it? He ran off a ball, literally. Yeah.
Kelly called him because Kelly would have shouted him. Kelly would have said, "That's Kelly's."
Why would Kelly shout him?
Because Kelly was running behind him. Kelly was running behind him to have a shot.
Kelly were on the overlap.
There's a defender next to Kelly. Kelly wasn't free.
Look, Hugo's not just going to think, I can't go over to touch that ball. I'm going to let it go into my foot. I guarantee that Kelly has shouted that it's his ball and Kelly's misread the situation. And the ball is obviously the defender's intercepted it or whatever happened. But if you look at the clip, Kelly is running onto it and he thinks he's going to get a shot away. And that's why Hugo dummies it. There's no way he's just going to say, I'm leaving that ball for someone else. Zero chance.
He's that bad. That's what he's done. He's thinking,
no.
He's got no confidence.
That's ridiculous, that.
Yeah, I think Joshua agrees. Sick of the Ugle haters. He has no service, and I totally agree. He doesn't have any service. You could put Messi up front for Rotherham United, and he is not scoring. He's not. He's not. It's just the service is horrendous. And last season, the most of the goals that were scored are only players that can run at people and have got pace, because we don't create anything. That's why Wilkes and Nombe are always up at the top scorers, is because they can actually run at players, beat people, and create something out of nothing. Hugo's not that type of player. He never will be. Even when he went for all that money at West Ham, he weren't that type of player. He's never going to be that type of player. What he needs is crosses into the box, good service, and his movement will do the rest. Yeah, but we don't do it. We don't put in the box.
You would say, excluding corners and free kicks, Adam, how many crosses do you think we put into that box on Saturday? I bet it were no more than 2 in the whole game.
We didn't have any corners.
No, sorry, I said excluding corners and free kicks. How many crosses do we get into the box? So from open play, I bet it were no more than 2.
Even if we did, I don't think you will get onto him. He gives a little tap and he's off the ball. He's off on the floor.
How do you know if you're not putting cross into the box?
Well, we'll see this new striker when he comes on. What a difference we'll make.
Yeah, I don't think it'll make a difference, because I tell you what, and if we continue playing the way we're playing, that front line shift, you may as well call it the graveyard shift. You get no service, yeah. And I don't care what striker you are, you can put Haaland up there. If you don't get the balls into him and the right service, they ain't going to score. And the way our system and the way we're playing at the moment, we're not creating any chances whatsoever. We missed Powell, I'd agree. But yeah, we're not getting any service. So we'll quickly move through them. So Martha, that's who Thomas said that he thought were our standout player. He actually got the man of the match with 5. And then Drew Yearwood got a 4. Lenny got a 5. He went off injured. And then obviously the subs were sort of 4s.
Just quickly before we move on fully, I've just checked the crosses, right? Rotherham had 4 crosses in the whole game in the box, right? Have you guessed how many crosses Cardiff had? And this excludes corners. 16. So they had, 4 times more cross into box than we did. No wonder we're not scoring.
And I bet you could do that across the whole 3 or 4 games we've had.
Yeah.
We don't get the ball in the box. And that's another thing that Matt Hamshaw said he was going to do this season. He was going to get boxers in, and it's going to be a more Rotherham United up and at them, and we just haven't seen it. So I can only go on Matt Hamshaw's words. He was promises more effort, up and at them, crosses into the box.
Yeah, and their keeper having a coffee all game. We only 84th minute first shot when Coletta come on. You were having a picnic. I bet he paid for nothing.
So we're very close to the end of the show now. I'll just read a few more comments. Broken promises from Hamshaw again, Busher. Yeah, I mean, he's not delivering, but I'm not going to go too deep. I'm going to back him. I'll never want Rotherham to lose. I'll back him until he's dismissed, which if we continue to perform like we do, it won't be too long. We know how Tony Stewart operates, and I don't think it'll be too long. Adam just wanted to say a couple of words as well before he went regarding a charity. Adam, do you just want to give a shout out to your charity that you are helping?
Yeah, I just want it's a charity for young children experiencing cancer. It's Team TED Foundation. Lee's going to put the link up. Everyone to have a look at it. I'm going to be supporting it, do a few fundraisers. And I know the big Rotherham fans as well, so it'll be nice.
Yeah, super. I have put the link in the description tonight. I've also put a post out on X. Fraser just wants to say a side note. I've wanted to say our fans need to stop being so divided. I hate it. It's so mad on Twitter at the minute. I agree, Fraser. I've been accused of people just supporting me because they want to be mates with me on all kinds of stuff. My views are my views. And everybody that comes on my platform, I mean, these guys that are on tonight will verify. I just ask them to be themselves. I'm not pushing any narrative. I'm not trying to get clicks and anything else. I want people that come on that are proper fans that give their proper opinions. That's what we love about football. We don't all have to agree with each other, but we do need to start and be sort of respectful to each other. It's crazy.
That's not what you were saying before you joined, Lee. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, apparently Fraser said he's a Wednesday fan. Well, I'm a Wednesday fan. I'm a Leeds fan. I'm actually a Man United fan as well. So I'm a two-team wanker as well. But there you go. That's for another night. But thank you so much to Thomas, the Cardiff fan, for coming along. His insight's been really helpful. He's got a big smile on his face because he knows his team absolutely smashed us. They're going to go and lick us wounds, and hopefully we will be in a positive, more of a mood. Just quickly before we go, guys, because we got all his predictions wrong last week, so I'm not even going to embarrass ourselves and say what we predicted to happen against Cardiff. But Wigan's coming up next. Quickly from you, Bez, what's your prediction on the Wigan game?
It's a massive game. It's almost a must-win. I'm going to go 2-1 to Rotherham. I just think we've been at home. Hopefully the fans can get behind Hamshaw and we can get a win. So I'm going 2-1 Rotherham.
Adam?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 2-2 because I think this new striker, what we've just signed today, him and if Arteta's fit, Ben Shugel, because he's not at the races. I see Ben shaking his head. Obviously, Joe Powell's back. I don't know about Agberi if he's playing, because obviously Jules and Raggett look so weak at the back. They're like hot potato when it's passing between them. So I'll go 2-2 with the new striker.
Joshua 2-1 and Sheriff the debut goal. So yeah, we've signed him today. It's in the chat, breaking news. We've signed Everton forward Martin Sheriff, another young player. I was a bit disappointed to see a lot of negative comments on the Rotherham United chat about a young player. It's not going to do his confidence any good. So I think we need to back people. I'm going to go 3-0. A macho masterclass is going to turn into prime Pep. Just so I can be positive.
Hugo
Thomas,
Latry.
we can win. Did you see shoots that we could possibly beat Wigan?
Yeah, why not? I mean, well, get the good vibes going. We'll go with 3-0, a Jordan Hugo brace and Martha to get one as well. Because I like Jordan Hugo, I'm a believer.
Have you got a game tomorrow, Thomas? Because we
got Wimbledon away.
There you go.
Wimbledon away. It's going to be quite tough, I think.
What's your prediction for that game, Thomas? What do you think you're going to do over there? Tough place to go, Wimbledon, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tricky one. I think we'll get a draw, to be honest. I think we'll go 1-1. And then we go Luton away on Saturday. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. And I think we could sneak some in at Luton on Saturday.
Super. So that's the end of the show, guys. Thank you again for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. And we will be back again for the Premiership on Thursday. We've got a strong panel on Thursday, so that will be really good. Thank you again for watching and see you soon.